It's presidential campaign season, and with an incumbent Republican president in office, a large field of Democrats is vying for the Democratic nomination. As of Friday night, those Democrats are Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, Michael Bloomberg, Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, Tom Steyer, and Tulsi Gabbard. One of these candidates spoke at a local Democratic fundraiser in Turlock last Friday night, and we were there to cover it. We arrived an hour prior to the start of the event in order to get a feel for the layout as well as figure out what the plan was. Government students from Turlock and Pittman High volunteered to host arriving guests, while student reporters from Enochs and Gregory High were there to cover it for student media. With Mayor Buttigieg set to speak at 8:30, they've set up a plan to help the student helpers as well as us have a chance to meet him. But more on that later. With approximately 2 hours of event time before Mayor Pete was to arrive, we kept ourselves busy interviewing local politicians.
He has my full support. That's why I'm here, and I think he's going to be the best person to go toe-to-toe with Trump at the debate, and I think he's going to win.
Yeah. And our advisor told us that you were going to put in a good word for us to hopefully interview him.
I will speak to the one running the show, but yes.
Okay, and what do you think our odds are?
Very slim.
This is a fundraiser for local Democratic candidates. How will these funds help your campaign?
Yeah, so these funds won't help my campaign in particular, besides the fact that they'll be helped registering folks to vote and making sure that people understand that there's an election coming up in just another couple weeks on March 3rd. And so making sure that we're getting everybody that information ensures that folks can go out and actually have their voice be heard.
Okay, great. And final question, our end goal is to interview Mayor Buttigieg.
Yeah.
What do you think our chances are?
Well, if there's anything I can do about it, 100%. We'll see. It's not up to me, but hopefully you can at least grab his comments when he's here in a couple hours.
We ran out of politicians to interview, so we started talking to reporters. The end goal here is to hopefully interview Mayor Pete Buttigieg. What do you think our chances are of actually getting an interview with him?
I'm going to say probably 0. I don't know. I hope you do.
I am proud to present Mayor Pete Buttigieg.
You could feel the excitement in the room change when the guest of honor took the stage.
I believe we have to look to the future, and I believe we need to call everybody into this effort. It's why I find that we are able at a moment like this to grow our support, as long as people can see where they fit. Now, if your only choice is between a revolution or the status quo, maybe it doesn't feel like you know where you belong. But I am seeing a powerful American majority shaping up of Democrats and independents, and I'm even meeting a lot of what I like to call future former Republicans who are ready to make a change because they can't look their kids in the eye either and explain this president to them.
Near the end of Mayor Pete's speech, it was time to put our plan into place. We made our way out front, around the side of the building, turned around the corner of the back side of the building, and into the rear staging area we went. Then, this happened. Hi, I'm Carson Wells. I'm a high school reporter with Gregory High School. What advice do you have for younger voters?
Well, here's my message to young voters. The longer you're planning to be here, the more you have at stake in the decisions that are about to be made on everything from climate change to the way our economy is going to develop. And you've got so much power with that vote. The vote is your voice. And even if you're not yet old enough to vote, you can make such a difference through activism, through volunteering, through getting others involved, whether it's in person or digitally, door to door or on the phone. And if there was ever a time, if there was ever a time in modern American history to get involved, it's now. So I hope everybody uses that power that you have of your voice, and if you're a voter, of your vote. And 2020 is going to be a year we'll remember for the rest of our lives.
Let's recap this presidential candidate's advice to young voters. The vote is your voice. Activism is another way to get involved. And the time to get involved is now. The California primary will be taking place March 3rd. If you are eligible to vote, head to your local voting poll and have your voice heard. From the Assyrian Civic Center in Turlock, California, reporting for JNN, this has been Carson Wells and Bertiel Alkurji.